Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda. Off here to a 1v1 on Crossroads in the north. It is Angreifen, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union. The 10th Mechanized Corps here with Guard Motor, Armored Assault, and Shock Rifle with Triple Infantry. And he goes straight for Shock Rifle, featuring the KD-8. Anti-tank and ambush tactics, Shock Troopers, the Incendiary Artillery Barrage, and the IS-2 Heavy Tank. West and south it is DaPope, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 11th Panzergrenadier Division here with German infantry featuring 250-1 half-tracks, veteran squad leaders, stormtroopers, assault and hold, and fragmentation bombs with infantry, pack, and Panzerfaust bulletins. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters. Without them, this episode and so many others would not be possible. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon, or you can donate by PayPal. Both links are in the video description. You can also just comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button, keep the YouTube algorithms engaged, and help me, keep on that there. So in the southeast, we got here Pope steadily moving ahead with the Grenadiers, then before two in the Pioneers. Angreifen commits to a triple conscript opening here. Sandbags on the curve pawn there, sandbags there, even sandbags on the curve pawn there. Very thorough sandbagging here by Angreifen. MD-42 moving eastwards here for the eastern fuel point. So, Shock Rifle, definitely not a commander we see much lately. And German infantry, despite the buffs, not really seeing a lot of either usage. Although, again, I think German infantry is actually fairly solid. You still get the excellent veteran squad leader upgrade. Stormtroopers are still quite good. And the assault and hold ability is still amazing, too. And 250 half-tracks are pretty neat, too. So, anyways, second Grenadier squad here for Pope. So far, standard stuff. Bit of sandbags are all there for Pope and the German army. The machine gun setting up to repulse any Soviet attack, Soviet scouting, or Soviet Tea Party. Second Grenadier squad, they're ready. First shot's about fighting around the center, 2-minute mark. Pope's Grenadiers and Angreifen's contras there clashing. Bit of skirmishing there. Sandbags in the west. Pioneers being eastwards. Bit of skirmishing there. Machine holding up here. But why there? Got the point here. I mean, so far, Angreifen's got a bit more territory than Pope, but that's nothing unusual there. Third Grenadier squad on the way there. Angreifen is not committing to more troops. Possibly some fast-ish tech planned here. He's planning to go for shock troopers already now, which is interesting. Grenadiers charging at the contras here, backed up by another Grenadier squad. Third one ready. We'll of course have to see how many Grenadiers overall Pope will commit to. Some players are noted for committing to full Grenadier squads to then really utilise the veteran squad leaders to their full extent, which I don't think is a bad idea at all. Angreifen there basically with some bar Y here in the west. Just bring back the conscripts, but his Grenadiers are exposed here. Angreifen steadily and neatly flanking there with this infantry. Machine gun there was not part of the engagement, definitely a bit awkward there for Pope. But great for Angreifen, the MD-42 has not been joining into any of the main engagements, as that would have definitely swung them very much in the favour of Pope. Almost getting him up here in the Grenadier squad, that is huge if he gets it here in the early game versus Pope. And Bassel's just utterly hyperactive here, I'm not entirely sure what's up with him today. Pioneers from the flamme there for the burning through the conscripts. Bit risky though, of course, and it tells Angreifen he is more than free to lay down a lot of mines. So of course it does give Pope more immediate firepower, so, can go both ways. So Grenadiers reinforcing here. No fourth one or tech, at least as of yet. Oh, bunker instead here for Pope. That's also an option. Mines there from Angreifen, plus of course a mine sweeper. Oh, not mine sweeper, but flamethrower. Instead, tech you can argue can sweep mines too with a fire, but it doesn't help you detect them. Medics up there as well for Angreifen. But yeah, definitely feels like he's planning something. Either shock troopers, he wants to let some support weapons fairly fast, but the fact he's not moving out and he needs to rush that out makes me think he's actually planning to go for shock troopers, though again the way he's sort of doing it is going to take a bit of a while, though, which definitely gives Pope more time to push in if he so desires. But no tech yet for Pope. Is he going to go for the fourth Grenadier squad now, or what is Pope planning here? Pioneers flanking the flamethrower engineers. There we go, we are in fact seeing a fourth Grenadier squad here for Pope, so 4 Grenadiers, 1 MD-42, and then obviously all of these Grenadiers will equip with the veterans, or upgraded with the veteran squad leaders, that way turn into some fairly solid teams. No tech here, that means he doesn't really have a rifle grenade here to fire into the mix of all these Soviet infantrymen. Definitely should get that tech going soon. Veteran squad leaders now unlocked. plus stormtroopers if he so desires. He's charging the grenadiers here. Angreifen definitely lining up for those shock troopers. But again, I feel like he could have tagged up, then actually gotten them out sooner. Definitely, perhaps a bit of case of tunnel vision. There we go. But again, calling in the shock troopers, maybe he's planning to call in multiple shock troopers, in which case it does make a bit more sense. Either way, equipped there with their body armor and their PPH-841 submachine guns with drum magazines, which are only something that's so used at the start of the war, as the drum magazines had numerous issues with them. Partly production issues, partly reliability issues, and the fact the drum magazine, while so big, also pretty damn heavy and not particularly wieldy, so the Third Army would move on to box magazines for the PPH-841 submachine guns. Samex in the east, enforcing still no taking for Pope, though at least hopefully some veteran squad leaders. Yes, got one there. Mine goes off, they're killing Ludwig and Heinrich. But there goes Shocks about to hit here. Pope in a really, really bad place. Machine guns flank. Yeah, he just needs to retreat that as well. Losing Eastern fuel pump, though he's trying to get the Western one. Still no tech for Pope here. I feel like that is fairly risky. And Angreifen is not calling additional shock troopers, so not entirely sure what Angreifen is planning here. Oh, he is finally taking up. At least got the support company out. Shock troopers running through here. Veteran gun is almost done. Really needs to take up there. And we got a Stormtrooper squad as well. Wow, okay. 4 Grenadiers, Stormtroopers. That is definitely a, I would say, fairly exciting build. Though also pretty heavy in on tier 1. Bit risky, honestly. Particularly if his opponent rush out at T70. Though, if Angreifen does, and this could work. But there goes Stormtrooper ambushing the Shock Troopers there. The MP40's getting more damage faster than the PPH-21s in this case can handle. And routing them. Fun fact, German troops were actually quite fond of the PPH-841 as well, as it had an incredible rate of fire. It was also not uncommon for German veterans to just carry around some of them themselves. Additionally, the German army in overall captured millions of them, and they actually convert, I think, at least 1 to 2 million PPH-841 submachine guns towards using German ammunition. So, little fun fact there, but still not taking for Pope. That is starting to look a bit concerning here. Again, he's gone for a damn heavy tier 1 there, so I suppose he can make it work, but it's nonetheless not something I find myself a huge advocate for. Those Stormtroopers are pretty great. I do think they get a bit of a look. There you go, note the way he's using the ambush ability, the way he can actually maneuver about right there to close in and can't get pushing away, since the MP40s do a lot of damage. Grab the Eastern fuel point here, grab the Eastern point there as well. Definitely need to get that fuel back in his hand, and if possible hit Angreifen's fuel points there as well, since if he hits him with the T-10 right now, Pope is in a pretty damn bad place, and while he may not be Stalingrad, he's still in a bad place against the T-70. And it's worth noting he is yet to take up, like his best option would be to go for a Panzerschreck on the Stormtroopers. Angreifen not going for the T-70, instead he's going for the anti-aircraft tactic, which honestly isn't great either for Pope. That is pretty awful too, in some ways it might be worse. Unless he's got a Telemine down the right place, in which case he might be able to survive it, but considering the fact he's upgrading his troops to the veteran squad leaders, I'm less certain about that, so yeah. And somewhat unorthodox Wehrmacht build here, but nothing wrong in that. I just think the execution has a few flaws in it, and still no tech here for Pope. I mean, we're almost 10 minutes into the game, and there's still nothing there. I definitely feel like Pope is really pushing the definition of luck here. But there you go, half-track ready, just need to upgrade with the Corp mount. Shock Troopers almost right in the Pioneers. Stormtroopers in there, hitting the calf one at least. Could fend retreat past the Shock Troopers actually. Still no tech for Pope. He's definitely again really hung to then get Stormtroopers reconfronting those Shock Troopers there. He does, nope, well, he's popping a smoke grenade. That said, he sort of got Troopers in there, so this actually prevents. Oh, he's still going for the tactical advance there. He almost gets it to work there. Could he finish them off there? Yes, he does get the weapon, the Shock Troopers. That is really some ice cold play there by Pope, honestly. That's it, the Storms were now on the receiving end of the Corp mounted 450 cals, which is definitely bad news for any German infantry. He's finally taking up though, but again, 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes. That is definitely pushing your luck beyond most allowable definitions. I can not recommend this at all. That is definitely not a good play. Shock Troopers out there though for Angreifen. So again, he definitely wants to make use of those Shock Troopers. like to make a nice company up here. Going about here, Grenadiers moving up against the comes there again. Lots of heavy coming out. He's been used heavy cover here as well. Calf point here, we got the MG42 here, but without the incendiary piercing rounds because Pope has unfortunately not been actually using it a lot in his engagement, so it's not that experienced already, at which point he could actually take an out here with the incendiary piercing rounds. So that's also a bit of a strange run there from Pope. But anyway, Stormtroopers sending out here, like to make a nice company done. Getting a pack 40 and then maybe support the core, mine hit there. I mean, have Pope, been like, I think better like with, techno map control. I mean, in some ways you could probably make this work. You could have, say, rushed out a Stug, maybe, but considering the field control that Angreifen was able to exert nonetheless, I don't think that was a great idea. More sandbags here. Angreifen is near religious in the ways of laying down sandbags here against Pope. Really just highlighting how powerful he can be. Got shots coming up here. Again, another shock to the squad here for Pope to have to tangle with. Smoke grenades off. They're good there. Force the Grenadiers have to close in on them and, just stand there and do nothing. So, pretty sneaky there. Pretty sneaky. No Pack 40 yet or armoured cars here for Pope. I'm guessing a Pack 40 in part because he does have that bulletin to pretty much force it out at an incredible rate. Force away the shock trooper squad here, managing with a good rifle grenade. Part because, standing about in the smoke, that also tells your opponent where he may want to fire some grenades. Just 3 field gun, and there we go. Pack 40 being rushed out for Pope. Basil going out. Stormtroopers half 8 to Veteran 2. Still got 2 Grenadiers that can be upgraded to Veteran Squad Leaders. Heading the calf point. Pack 40 and move here for Pope.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
So, we'll have to see what next, but I imagine maybe some tech here for Pope and then some Panzers. The game in the western field, point eastern field is east here by Angreifen, so a lot of back and forth here. Neither player they're getting caught up in like any one part of the map too much, which is good to see. Stormtroopers in the country, getting up close, the Stormtroopers will absolutely beat the living stuffing out of them, and of course there's the threat of the tactical advance, which is, as you might have noticed again doing for some of the shocks, was quite good at like, leveraging wipes against retreating troops there, which is one reason I also like it. Shock troopers against the Veteran Grenadiers. They definitely need to retreat here. The shock troopers will eat them up, I think. Heading eastwards here. Grab the point there. North, that point being seized. MG4 drop in the centre.
The enemy is taking our territory.
No tech yet for Pope.
The sector has been cut off.
The machine gun sending out. And of course, with the grenade already popped, they do not have access to the smoke grenade for now against the MG42. These two got the Stormtroopers and Engineers, plus Pioneers in the retreat path here. Veteran 2 on the Stormtroopers, 8 kills. No tech yet here for Pope. Angreifen's got no tech yet either. We got the Incendiary Artillery being unleashed here against Pope's MG42 team. Grabbing the eastern field point, or victory point, so they need to grab the field point. Both have managed to conjure off the other's field point, by the way. Victory points was, though, Pope's got a definite lead here with Angreifen in terms of victory points. Good to see. Gunners moving forward here, constantly in there. Grabbing the eastern point here. We got mines there from Angreifen as well. Stormtroopers setting out here. Constantly caught by the Stormtroopers once more. Hosing them down there with the MP40s, the Schmeisers. Happening the Grenadiers, suppressing them. Of course, not in the actual German army, there were no real Stormtrooper-like, role. More rather, the German infantry was built around the Stormtrooper concept, at least the infantry. Like, they basically just took like a lot of the principles of the World War I Stormtroopers and applied them as a whole to the German infantry in terms of tactics and such. So, little fun fact there. Little fun fact there. There are technically the units they call storm units, sort of here and there. Those are more like, ad hoc units. For some, they'd form out like, for example, in 1944, some of the best elements of the division could be formed into like a storm unit. Or they, form them up for some NCO schools. When they were close to being attacked, they'd form them into storm Abteilungs and such there. So, little fun fact there. In this case, also the icon is from the Brandenburger Panzer Grenadier Division. Need to retreat the stormtroopers before the shock troopers annihilate them. Mines here attempted by Pope, but quite thwarted. He's finally taking up though. Almost got all veteran Grenadier squads out there. Just need one more squad to be upgraded. He definitely has the munitions. Definitely need to push out the DaPopeCoH and get out some Panzerwaffe here versus Pope. Shocks with focus on 2 veteran Grenadier squads plus the MD42 team, and these two got Punies for the counter there, bunched up at heavy cover. The Punies might have shot there. Shock 2% running. Both fuel pumps controlling for Pope. Definitely could allow him to push out a Panther 4 now. Angreifen got the mechanized armor company. Punies about to get wiped out, which would definitely be a problem there for Pope, as that's going to also delay his tech.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Note again the Wits maneuvering about there, sort of that we can threaten the retreat path, forcing Angreifen to consider, like, retreating faster, risk losing units. You could actually sound, I think, with Assault and Hold here. In fact, Assault and Hold will also allow him to grab back the fuel points swiftly, so that could have been like a double reason to do it right then and there. But too late for that now. After rushing forward here for Pope. Pack forward this time, those ready. Good hit. Western fuel pump being seized back by Angreifen and the 10th Mechanized Corps. And half-tech escapes. So what is Angreifen planning? This is actually the KV-8 here. Is the Fab the T-34? I don't know, but Pope needs to get that DaPopeCoH active no matter what. He needs armor. Betting is in trouble with the flamethrower units, need to retreat. There we go, tactical advance, they're popping a right tank back up at M22. The shock troops are routed, and we do get a KV-8 flamethrower tank here from Angreifen. Pope with the DaPopeCoH. KV-8, I think, will necessitate Stoogs for like the best opportunity to like just shoot them down fast. He could of course also go for Panther 4s, but I think a couple of Stoogs will be a priority. There's also a good chance here that Angreifen will go for the IS-2 next, since Angreifen has generally always had a thing for like the really big tanks. So I wouldn't say it's impossible for him to try and play for an IS-2, though he's going to need more field guns than one to make that work. Still strong from the carve point, halfway to the ace level. Panther 4 there for Pope, he's obviously not expecting the KV-1. Van hand grenade. Burning through the conscripts. 14 kills, there you go, force retreat by the shock troopers there, veteran 2, 5 kills. Still good disruption there by Pope, troop reinforcing healing here, and there you go, all 4 Grenadier squads upgraded on top of the shock troopers, meaning Pope has a lot of firepower there in terms of infantry. KB on the move. DaPopeCoH down. Oh, we get Assault and Hold. 2 thumbs up to Pope here. Easily one of my favourite abilities, but also one that's overlooked. Oh, got lucky kind of there with a grenade. Need to retreat there. Need to retreat. As the shock troopers will definitely make short work of them, even with like the Assault and Hold bonus there. But there you go. 2 veteran Grenadier squads backed up by Assault and Hold will be more, I think, than a match for the shock troopers. And now Pope's got the Panther 4 out here. The Panzerkampfwagen 4. KB running about here. Definitely should go for some Stoogs to help counter that one. Roughing against the bunched up conscripts. Decent shot there. Heavy cover helped them out a bit. Panther 4 was really close on that one, but not quite there. Panther 4 engaging the Sword Heavy Tank. Pack 40 joining in. Panther 4 bounces. Pack does not. Got some harassment, some fuel point. We got the Stormtroopers moving in again. Note the way he's moving about there. Lining up so he can threaten with the retreat path, forcing an Angreifen to consider retreating faster, or at least increasing the chance of getting the wipe there then. There we go, quick retreat. Panther 4 need repairs. Of course, need to get that fuel point back. Schnell. Finish push back, got a flare mine going off there, and we got the KV joining the fun here. Troops enforcing healing. Shock troopers almost ace level there for Angreifen. No repairs for the Panther 4 as of yet. Got veteran Grenadiers here versus the shock troopers. Panther 4 being moved in again here. Did he lose his pioneers? No, he did not. He is by upgrading them with a veteran squadron as well. Always a good idea there. Comes caught with him for 2. May want to destroy the sandbags when he has the time. And there you go, another incendiary artillery barrage here from Angreifen. Thumbs up to that. ESAT there we got Pope's Stormtroopers moving ahead here near ace level. Going for tier 4. Not a fan of that one at all. I definitely feel like that's a bad call here by Pope. He's running a lot of pressure. The KB8's going to be tough for him just for his Pack 40 and Pan 40 to deal with. There's still the anti-aircraft tower track. Plus, it just means like Angreifen has made himself with more time to like stall for his own big stuff. So, definitely feel like just stalling to tier 4 here with only a Panther 4 is a ill-advised call there by Pope, in my opinion. KB8's going to drive into the base here, further punishing Pope.
The enemy is firing on our HQ.
5 kills on the KB8 flamethrower tank.
The territory is out of contact.
Angreifen's being very aggressive here as Pope, in a manner you typically do not see. I mean, admittedly, you don't see a lot of KB8s from the Soviet players in general. Shot rifles, again, gun motors pretty much like in the hotness, though not in a literal fashion like the KB8 is. But Angreifen here definitely showing the KB8s and its capability versus German infantry, I think, more than fairly. Another field on the way there for Angreifen to help perhaps stall for the eyes too. And again, not supervised for him to do it, but I mean, at this point, Angreifen's predilection for heavy armor is at this point universal, so I've just kind of given up. Don't going from the Salt and Hope, with that said, I think Pope here made the bad call there. I mean, you know, doing it right in front of the anti-aircraft tower track and a shock trooper squad is pretty much the worst place you can pop it, because while it does give an extra bonus, it also makes it easy for you to hit it. So you do not pop it against units with like a lot of like high rate of fire weapons like the half track or the shock trooper squad. So that was a really bad call there by Pope. Plus he lost the Grenadier squad here as well. Great for Angreifen, but really took the wind out of Pope's sails and rather tore some very large gashes out of them as well, I would say. This combined with, you know, him going for tier 4, I think, really swings the game in favour of Angreifen. Now the Salt and Hope, there again, I really like the ability. Again, I think it's very underrated. Heckfall lands some great hits on the KB8. Panther 4 shoots, misses. Almost knocked out there. But yeah, trying to solve for tier 4 right now, I think, is highly risky here. But clearly Pope is confident he can make it work. And maybe he can, but if he can't, he's in a lot of trouble. KB8, there's going to need repairs. Half-track calling back here for now. Enforcing healing, needs to fix up the Panther 4, needs to get the heavy Panther squad. I mean, he technically does have the fuel for the Panther. The problem right now is actually setting up the manpower and so much pressure, particularly with the KB8 and stuff like that. I mean, the KB8 and the anti-aircraft tactic makes it fairly difficult, plus the shock troopers, for Pope to easily save up the manpower requisite for the Panther. Because the Panther is rather manpower intensive as well. 490 manpower. And that's the amount the heavy Panzer cores. That becomes like more than a total of like 500-600 manpower they need to invest just for that. So that's going to be a fairly tall order here for Pope, and I think just further highlights the issue of just trying to go straight for the Panther under the current circumstances with just a single Panther 4. You should at least gone for another Panther 4, you know, preferably gone for a bunch of Stugs. Sturmgeschütze. Panther 4 flying away there, conscripts with the conscripts. Guns bring into conscripts. Panther with the shock troopers. They're skirmishing there. Pack shoots, good hit on the KB8, they're punching straight through the frontal armour. Panther fires off as well, further damaging the KB8 heavy flamethrower tank. Heavy Panther squad there for Pope. Roughly half a minute away from the Panther under current circumstances, but said, Angreifen's not far away from the IS-2 heavy tank either. At that point, he's going to have a much larger force here than Pope, so definitely getting a bit close for comfort there. Bit close for comfort. So there you go. Heavy Panzer got the Schwerer Panzerkorps. Can go for the Panther here from the 1st Panzer Battalion. Guys are going, yeah, well, of the nearby Panzer divisions, and the 11th Panzer Division, but not actually to Panthers. Shock troops moving forwards here for Angreifen.
Losing a sector.
That's wanting attention here. Really picks some amazing timing for that at times. Panther halfway done. Angreifen, meanwhile, is not far away from the IS-2. He easily has the fuel now, he just needs the manpower, and he's less than half a man away from that as well. Pope, meanwhile, is conceding more and more ground here to Angreifen, who now also enjoys an infantry advantage with 4 veteran conscript squads, though worth noting, Actex hasn't upgraded a single one to 7-man status. Plus, of course, he has the 8 shock troopers, so... And there you go, Panther out for Pope. That's set. IS-2's about to hit here. No, Basil, don't attack the sweater. Well, attack the sweater, not me, I guess, but, you know, please don't attack. Panther going forward, see shock troopers being caught by the Grenadiers and the Panther. Got a fragmentation bomb here, got the assault and hold at the ready. And there you go. Joseph Stalin, 2 heavy tank arriving here for Angreifen. Ow, Basil. KB, they're very close to Veteran 2. Figures moving forwards. Ow!
We are losing a sector.
So it looks like we're off to like one big armoured clash here between Pope and Angreifen. Panther going for the engineers. Basil going for the kill on my sweater sleeve. Grenadiers in the west here is the IS-2. That is definitely not a great engagement there for Pope. Panther remaining reserve, trying to snipe here at the IS-2. Shot bounces. East side of the KB going for the Panther 4. Panther falling a bit back. IS-2 with 1 kill. Got the pedal mounted Dishka added. That was only during the Cold War that pedal-up machine guns would actually become commonplace in most Soviet armour. So yeah, looking a bit tough here for Pope. Looking a bit tough, what with Angreifen and a lot of firepower, and of course several heavy tanks. Even one of them's not going to be exactly great in anti-tank combat. Panther moving forward, caught in with the IS-2 heavy tank. Trying to flank the IS-2. That's going to, I think, rush straight into the mine there, and yep, get knocked out. And he's moving in on the flank. We got a fragmentation bomb off, but Angreifen's already moving about. He's dodging it. Fragmentation bombs kind of hit the IS-2, starting a bit there, but it's not enough. Overall, Pope's losses are significant here versus Angreifen. Panther moving forward, backed up with the machine gun and the Pioneers, but he is rather outgunned. Pack 40 crew cleared out, leaving him even further undergunned here versus Angreifen. Pioneers caught here by the IS-2. Panther moving about here, trying to line itself up better. We got 157 versus 418, half doing about there, 11 kills, Veteran 3. Panther coming through the hedges, and there you go. Snapping another hit in the IS-2, possibly. Shot bounces. Machine gun wiped out. Pope's on just 3 Grenadiers now, and the Pioneers plus the Panther. Things, I think, are rapidly deteriorating for Pope at this point. Angreifen's also used the Pack 40 here further, leaving the Panther outgunned in a increasingly dramatic degree. As at this point, clearly lamenting the lack of any Sturmgeschütze here from Pope. Vertically shouting the counters here, hosing them down there out in the open and pushing them back here.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
IS-2 being fixed up, K1 they're already fixed up. We got 157 versus 416. I mean, technically Pope's got a lot of victory points, like, you know, try and rebuild his force with, but he is significantly outgunned, and Angreifen's got a massive force that could basically at any point now crush Pope like an insect beneath his boots. We get with the Grenadiers, the Panther. Panther is not repaired, Vertical is moving in here. Panther fights in the IS-2. Another hit there from the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Pioneers moving in to assist. Shock troops on the move. About to lose the Grenadiers to the shock troopers. Oh, they got saved here with the machine gun bunker narrowly. But at this point, I think Pope is very much dead in the water. His forces are practically non-existent. Angreifen's forces, meanwhile, are near omnipresent. And, of course, overall just much more heavily equipped. And there you go, GG game over, loss here for the German army, victory for the Red Army. A fierce fight here in particular early on, but Pope, I feel like, had some issues with his timing, and his strategy again had some particular, shall I say, tier 4 shaped flaws. Again, as always, my advice is just pretend it doesn't exist and just stick to tier 3. I think he'd just gone for a bunch of Stukes, maybe another Panther. He'd been in a much better position versus Angreifen. You could have punished the eyes too, whereas with the Panther, he pretty much just, lost all tempo momentum, but also crucially supported Angreifen's eyes 2 stall himself. So I think, had he just stuck to tier 3, he could have been in a much better position versus Angreifen. He'd also been much less likely to lose. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. So this is Imperial Link. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Show up tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.